Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this is going to be my movie review for Band Aid, otherwise known as Band Aid, but it's BAND and then a capital A, Aid. Um, Adam Pally, Zoe Lister-Jones. Um, I'd have to say that this movie is kind of filled with B-rated actors, borderline C actors. Um, I wasn't sure what to think going into this movie. I didn't really know what it was about. I hadn't heard of it. It came up on my list of research items that I would like to do every month, and I was like, oh, new movie I've never heard of. I like to watch movies I've never heard of, and I like to give them a chance and see what they're like. So I watched Band Aid with a fresh point of view and didn't know what to expect and didn't know what was coming. Didn't really know what the storyline was. Didn't know who was in it. Nothing about it. So, what the movie deals with is this couple, and they are dealing with some problems in their life, but what they know is that everybody around them is having babies. They like music. The guy is struggling to find a job, and the girl also, but she has like a job to kind of deal with all the problems that she's had to deal with. It's kind of a breath of fresh air, and she thinks she has a good job, but yeah, we just find out that it's just Ubering. So, um, this movie is very deep. It starts off very light and funny, and it almost seems like a TV sitcom, just longer, and it kind of gets into some serious issues, especially the whole having children thing, the being lazy thing, the having to deal with marriage thing, the having to maybe reconnect with parents, having to talk to friends, figuring out who your real friends are. It has to deal with sex addiction, has to deal with not fitting in society. I mean, it really tries to tackle everything that it can. So maybe a little bit too much. The characters are great, but to deal with what they have to deal with in an hour and a half or so, it just doesn't seem like it's possible. Like maybe two or three issues at the most, but not 10. And when the couple starts arguing, they bring up a lot more stuff, and obviously it never gets resolved. And when you're married, you kind of know that things just kind of keep going, and if somebody doesn't want to do the dishes, they're not going to do the dishes. If they're lazy and they can't find inspiration to do their job or to do a project like artwork, they're just not going to. It's kind of something we as individuals, even though we're married, have to work through. And this movie tries to address that very apparently. It just never really resolves, and it's kind of hard to watch at some points because you just, especially if you've gone through a divorce or something, you have to know that this movie is very real. It's very tough to deal with. It's very tough to watch and find entertaining whatsoever. Um, for me personally, I was kind of watching this movie with somebody else of the opposite sex, and I was not comfortable watching this movie at all. When it gets to the arguing, when it gets to the talking about real things, when it brings up the emotional stuff, it really kind of pulls on your heartstrings, but it also kind of pisses you off that it has to talk that way in a movie. You know, you kind of wish they would just ice over and kind of make it superficial. So, the two main characters in this movie are very enjoyable as people. I can't say I really knew anything about them. I don't watch the sitcoms or the TV shows that they are kind of known for. There is a side character that is just I don't know. He kind of gets given a situation that I wouldn't wish upon anybody. If you have to deal with that kind of character in a movie and you're like, oh yeah, I want to do that. He tackled it, but it was kind of weird. So I don't know. Um, when I'm dealing with a movie like this, I don't really think about, the normal movie reviewer stuff of cinematography and scenery, and it followed them okay. It panned out in a scene fine. The music's actually really enjoyable. I thought it was fun. I thought the characters brought a lot to it. I thought it fit the storyline of the movie. I thought everything was appropriate for what it needed to do. I just felt like the movie was trying to tackle a way bigger issues than they needed to be tackling. I felt like the characters in the movie, the personality of the storyline characters just wasn't quite accurate and consistent, and it kind of jumped up and down. So I'm gonna say I enjoyed this movie as entertainment value goes, but once it goes dark, it goes dark. And what do you do when you have a movie like that? You give it a C. So I don't can't really tell you if it's good or not. It's just a movie that really has to deal with some stuff, and I think it does fine trying to address it. I just don't think it answers anything. And if you're in a relationship or if you've been in past relationships like the people in this movie are supposed to be, you're gonna feel a little uncomfortable like I did. So that's about it for this one. I should be going to see either The Foreigner or Happy Death Day tonight or tomorrow. So take a look for that review coming up, and I'll keep these coming. And as long as you guys keep watching, please hit that subscribe button and enjoy your movies, guys. Thanks.